Please click the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and the bell notification. Thank you. Please click the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and the bell notification. Thank you.
Check. Yeah. Wagwan people, wagwan. Big up on yourself, you know, big up on yourself. Everything is everything. We're there, we is our day here. Okay? Yes, boy. I know that, again, people just want to remind you that you're listening to me in Jamaica, but I'm broadcasting outside of the IrieJam studios here in New York City. And, boy, this has been a most interesting winter in some respect, you know. While it is a case that there are some places in the Midwest that has gotten some snow, and perhaps saying gotten some snow is somewhat of an understatement because they've gotten, in some places, they've gotten a considerable, Prezi. Let me turn this thing aside. All right, because Prezi gone already, people. Prezi. Where you gone? Yeah, good night, people over there. So while while it is the case that we have, some places have gotten a lot of snow. Over on the East Coast, we have pretty much not gotten any over here, you know? All winter. And not only we have not gotten any snow, I think it would be accurate to say that it has been unseasonably warm. Consistently so. We've had a couple of cold days. Cold days by the Northeast standard, New York standard, but for the most part, it has been quite warm, relatively speaking. Warm for winter, warm for, certainly not summer warm, but still warm, for January, February, and December, and perhaps a little bit of November also. Somebody say, be careful, because stranger things have happened in the past. Well, that's true. I remember years ago, we had two brutal snowstorms in March. And they were awful. They were quite terrible, resulting in deaths and things, and, substantial amount of snow and so forth. So, I don't want to speak too early. I say Paulette Robinson there, Paulette and I, we know about those days. But over the years, though, winter is not like it was before. And when I say before, I don't mean donkey years ago. I'm talking about just like from the 90s especially, and perhaps the early 2000s. And thing, up to several years ago, probably like say, I think sometime around I would say about 7, 8 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I remember somewhere thereabouts, about 8 years ago. I remember there was a snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm in New York, you know. And, you know, usually here in New York, as I say, boy, them are going to leave and, next winter, nah, catch them, yeah. And them a move go Florida, them a move go Atlanta, them a move go Beta, them make. And then as soon as summer come around, oh my God, it's nice out and thing. Everybody forgets them did plan for move and whatever. But with all of that in mind, it is still the case, I think, you know, that there is some, you know, that this global warming thing is real. You know, yes, snow still there over the Colorado store, still there over in the Midwest, but even they are not getting snow the way they used to get snow. I drove up to Canada recently, and I was at in a supermarket up in Canada, and I hear Canadians. People, when you hear Canadians saying that, we're not getting snow like before, you know there's been some changes. You know, people, when Canadians are saying, nah, it's not like before, and we're getting much less snow, and it has changed, and this thing is, global warming thing is real. When Canadians say it, people, that's true, because Canadians, they know snow. Okay? As a reminder, my Jamaican listeners, Canada is north of the United States of America. So Canada is colder than the United States of America. Not only is it colder, but it's bigger than the United States of America and things like that. So they have ample room to judge and understand this thing. What does this mean? One of the things it means is that, well, which is unquestionable, is that scientists are saying the Earth is the warmest it has been since they have been measuring the temperature of the Earth. So Earth is the warmest it has been since however how long they have been measuring the temperature of the Earth. And it has been warmer every year in the last several years. Now, this warmer is not nothing dramatic. It may look like something small, like, what's the unit of measure that they use and things. So it's nothing, it's not huge, it's not whatever. But the Earth being warmer is like interest rate in the financial sector. A quarter point, is consequential. It's hugely consequential. Not even a full point or a half point. A quarter point, shift in either direction is hugely consequential. And so it is that they say now, the biggest piece of ice up in the North Pole, I just read, the biggest piece of ice, and when we say big piece of ice, up there, so a big piece of ice is like big like a country. It's like big like an entire state. It's huge. We're talking a huge swath of ice. And they're saying, it's melting and it's about to break away in a way where it's going to melt faster. And when the ice up there melt, it causes sea level to rise. When the sea level rise, it impacts coastal areas. When coastal areas are impacted, you lose coast. Well, you literally lose coast. And then that triggers all sorts of chain reaction. right? So when the earth is warmer, the Caribbean waters, that warmer earth result, for example, in more hurricanes that feed off warm seawater type of thing and whatever. And of course, that doesn't bode well for a country like Jamaica, a little island country. So when I went to Ethiopia in 2015. And while I was there, I went down there and I visited the Rastafari down in Shashamane. And while I was there, I met one of the Rastas there, Desmond. And Desmond said there's going to become a time when, based on, he's just predicting that things going to happen in the world in such a way where Africa is going to be the safest place to be. Again, you know, Desmond said there's going to become a time on this earth when, based on what is happening in the world, he did not delineate exactly what would happen. He did not predict or prophesy or whatever. But him say, Africa is going to be the safest place to be. And I was thinking about that, you know. I was thinking about it today. I think about the weirdest thing, by the way, people. And I make connections between things that, you know, I make connections between things. So I'm putting all this stuff together and whatever, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm looking at where Africa is positioned. First of all, be reminded that more than 2/3 of the earth is covered in water. So earth is really 1/3 land. So it's mostly water run things here upon earth. And if the sea level rise on the 2/3 we cover and whatever, that means water are going to take over even more of the 1/3 we left. So if water are going to take over more of the 1/3 we left, then somebody who is a casual thinker can probably, you know, speculate. So which one of them land there are going to be the safest, you know? Now, huge swath of land, invariably, particularly those with mountains and things, them are going to fare better. So North America and South America, feasibly they are going to do well. Central America, kind of dark. Islands, kind of dark. Right? But then when you look on these other big expanse of land, you know, over in the Caucasoid region, from Western Europe, go right over to Russia, they are more north than Africa. Right? And in general, North America too is more north than, you know, the whole of Africa. South America is more south than the whole of Africa. Then you go over in Asia, you know, from China, come down to Japan, you know, North and South Korea, come down to, you know, the South Asian countries, the Thailand, the Vietnam and all of those and whatever. You know, they are, you know, they are not, they have the mountains too and whatever, but them have a huge expanse of land, the way North America is and thing, whatever, in other tropical region there, right? So the huge expanse of land, them either they north, I have some of them south, like South America, but most of them they're north. But keep in mind, though, you know, the globe what them show we is distorted, right? Because the globe that you're used to, the world map that you're used to looking at, it's a racist perspective. It was deliberately structured that way, to make North America and Western Europe look bigger than they are, and to make Africa look smaller, and non-white countries non-white areas and territories look smaller. Because I don't know if any of you see this thing that is circulating, where they show you how many of those countries together can hold into Africa. Prezi, you ever said that something about how many of them countries that can hold in Africa? Yeah. And it's whole heap. I know I have that picture here somewhere, but I can't go find it right now. Right? Whole heap of them countries there, Africa. The point I'm making, Africa is huge and big, which we all know. We know already, but Anthony. What am I getting at with all of this? In an interesting irony, man, in terms of feasibly the injustice that has been meted on Africa, and the exploitation, and the cruelty and the wickedness. You go in there, you rape your teeth off everything. After you rape your teeth off everything, and you're profiting from the rape and the thievery, then you turn around and say, the people from the place who you go abuse and thief and rape and slave, then you turn around and then you say, oh, them people, the reason why, the place not develop and whatever, are because they're not intelligent and bright enough to it, whatever this. So, there's been wars all over the place, all over the world and things throughout history. You have the dynasty wars over in Asia and thing, different the countries over there, they have a history of conflict between themselves. China and Japan don't get along. Japan and the Koreas, they don't get along. All kind of stuff going on. And then you have the internal conflict and them something else. But when you look on these things we are going with the weather, and given that these so-called first world countries, they're more north, right? So they are going to be subjected to any what name they in dramatic shift in weather condition. Arguably, they are going to suffer more. Now, Africa has its share of environmental problems, heat, hot, sun, all kind of something, the desert and thing like that. But Africa don't really have no whole heap of hurricane like how other places have Africa don't really have no whole heap of monsoon like how whatever this and that. Africa suffer, the African continent suffer, some environmental catastrophes that are not reported as much. But I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but in terms, earthquake and them something, we don't hear it as much over in Africa. I don't know. There's something going on over there in Africa where Africa doesn't, suffer these type of environmental calamities the way that the rest of the world does. And if this water thing really continue the way it is, and Africa is in that middle with this big, thick, solid, a land there, contiguous land there and whatever. Then if these weather climatic conditions become so extreme and whatever that they impact the extremities. The extremities meaning those more north or those more south. And if Africa is just like strategically kind of center in the globe, so to speak. In other words, Africa as a singular land space is more equatorial in terms of the equator than the other spaces. Then Desmond might be right, And this is just my loose thinking, people. This is just my loose thinking, but this may not happen in our lifetime, because the trajectory of these changes are occurring in the weather, and to the extent that they will come seriously and adversely impact our land space and things on Earth, the 1/3 of land per Earth that is not covered in water. That is for some time to come, you know. But I'm just saying, I was just thinking that, you know, Desmond might be right. Like, in my limited reasoning, not informed by strict science and thing, and I'm not a futurist. People, you do have people out there who are futurists, and they're futurists. You know, you have financial futurists, you have geographical futurists, and what people who you know predict the future from science, and they see what the evidence indicates, you know, what will occur in the future and so forth and things like that. So I am not informed, you know, by data the way they are, but just by, you know, a bit of what I would like to consider to be some common sense reasoning and some marshalling of evidence in a particular way, to in a logical way, and think, you know, Africa is positioned nicely. So, what is today's date? This is present. Me I hear you talk loud out there, you know. Today is what? This is Valentine Day. This is Valentine Day. Today the 15th, right, President? Right? Yesterday was Valentine's Day, so today the 15th. Valentine's Day was yesterday. Today is Valentine Day. You know, this is the day for Bona Man and Bona Woman, Side Man and Side Woman, the 15th of February. So on this February 15th, Valentine Day, I am predicting, which probably won't hold any currency. I'm a nobody in this world. I am predicting that Africa, along with what Desmond predicted, that Africa is going to be the richest real estate yet again. It is right now, but it will become it is right now in terms of raw materials and stuff and whatever that is used to make cell phone and gold and diamond and everything and whatever, just that Africans don't own it. But it is right now, but it's going to be even more valuable in the future. And it is going to, I think, may well be in the future the safest place on earth. Africa, the continent of Africa. You know, that continent that supposedly have some of the poorest countries in the world. Africa, going to be the most valuable piece of real estate in the world. I am predicting. Anyway, on another matter, people, I'm going to talk about something I know, and I don't want nobody come to me with no politics thing, all right? I don't want nobody. Oh, may I hear some talking? I don't want nobody come to me with no politics, because I don't even did want to go here so with this matter, you know, but somehow wanna take it to me. You know, somehow wanna take it to me and both this and that and that and this and ray. But okay. So, a report is out. And the report, well, Nationwide News is reporting, well, not just Nationwide News, it's reported in Jamaica. But the way Nationwide News phrased it, they said, in a shocking development, Prime Minister, and then write out the whole of Brogard name. Why them do that? Why them write out the whole of man name? Why was it necessary? Sometimes the news can get dramatic, you know. But anyway, Nationwide News in these kind of inflammatory language, somewhat shocking. In a shocking development, Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness has been referred to the Director of corruption prosecution for potential conflict of interest breaches. So again, Nationwide News has this as their headline. In a shocking development, Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness has been referred to the Director of Corruption Prosecution for potential conflict of interest breaches, right? The Jamaica Observer, they were a little bit more tempered in their headline, and there wasn't as much inflamed rhetoric in it, but the picture where the Jamaica Observer pick up Brogard and put there, they make Brogard look like, hey, Prezi, you know, see picture where the Observer used with Brogard in it. It's a very unflattering picture of the Prime Minister. It made the Prime Minister look menacing. It made the Prime Minister look like people want to go up on the Observer Instagram or whatever and look on the picture where them put there. And so, but the Observer said only cited for possible conflict of interest, breaches of Corruption Act. You know, so their headline is more tempered. Prezi, you see the Observer picture? You see the Observer picture? Oh, all right, no worries. So their headline is more tempered, but you can't say the same for their picture though. The picture put Prime Minister Holness, the picture put Brogard like, oh God, it don't make Brogard look good at all. You know, Brogard look like, you know, Star Wars movie and Darth Vader. Yeah, you know, but the Brogard look like the Grim Reaper, yeah, so him look like Darth Vader, yeah, so I'm sitting in. But anyway, all right, people, these are interesting times we are in right now, you know. I am Jamaican politics, as Lisa Anna said, it's a blood sport. We're all aware of that, right? And the way the game is played, people, let's be honest. When a party is not in power, they have a conscience and they're so fair. And, you know, it's all about service to country. And there is nobody, no formal political entity more moral. President, keep your voice down, man. Watch out. I hear some shouting, man. Right? So when a party is not in power, there is the party that is not in power, in this instance, whether it's the JLP or the PNP, them always have a clean conscience and a morally sound objectives for the country, and they're always, you know, stronger in clarity in identifying injustices against the nation when the party not in power, right? When the party not in power, nobody love the Jamaican people more. Nobody, no other entity want to do what's right for the Jamaican people more when the party not in power, whether it's the PNP or the JLP. And when the party in power commit infractions and or behave, you know, waywardly, the party that is not in power, they pounce on them, you know. This is standard. They just pounce and they attack and whatever. And they usually attack in a way that is, they are the angels, you know, and they are the ones who, you know, hold, you know, moral certitude and things like that. And then usually, you know, when the party that is not in power eventually get in power, they now start playing the game of being in power. And they are no longer as morally sound as they were when they did not have power. This has been true of both formal Jamaican parties. The Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. This has been true for both of them. People, how politics run at Jamaica. People, don't be fooled. The way the game is played, it's not really about healthcare. It's not really about education. It's not really about housing and whatever. Those are important, but they are not the highest priority in terms of how the game is played. So those things, those areas, if anything, those areas is for the trafficking of resources in order to play the larger game of politics. And by the way, this is not just Jamaica. So don't think that I'm saying that Jamaica is unique in this way. This is all over the world and whatever. So what really matters in politics? Well, I remind you that politics is about power. Politics is about power. And what is power? Again, if you're looking in these academic journals, politically, and particularly those that have to do with political science, well, politics. They have all kinds of fancy, highfalutin definitions of power and whatever. As for me, I like to simplify things, particularly when I'm making a presentation and I want you, the people, to understand, because I have long since have a problem with the people in politics. When them are going for them vote, when them want to vote for them, they speak very, very clearly. I want to understand what them are say. Sometimes, in order to get your vote, when them attack certain things, then talk straight. And then after they get your vote, then don't talk straight. And them cloud up on the mind and confuse you. And then blame uno. Say uno not intelligent enough to understand and whatever. And as I've always said, this is just my thing that I believe. If somebody's communicating to people and the people don't understand, it's never the listener's fault. It's never the listener's fault. It is always the communicator's fault if the listener doesn't understand. Communication is not easy. It can be very difficult. And one of your obligations as a communicator is to ensure, to do your homework, make the necessary adjustments and adaptations to ensure that those who are listening to you can understand you, even when you're talking about the most complex of issues, right? So what is the definition of power? The definition of power, at a minimum, is the ability to do what you want to do and to get people to do what you want to do with little or no consequences. That is my definition of power. Right? The ability to do any damn thing you want to do. And forget other people to do what you want to do. Not what they want to do for themselves, what you want them to do. Which sometimes can bode in your self-interest, right? With little or no consequences, right? That is the essence of politics. And it is the essence of many of the problems that are afflicting Jamaica. And it is the essence of a lot of the foolishness that goes on when them trick you, confuse you, distract you, carrying over here, so carrying over this, so carrying over here, so carrying over this, and turning and whatever, and this and make you not understand the thing. So that ability to do anything where you want to do, and forget others to do anything you want them to do, and then get away with it as a definition of power. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to explain to you how that nucleus, that central something there, tie in what go on with the Prime Minister, tie in what go on with UCN, tie in what go on with criminality in our country, tie in what go on with corruption over here, so corruption over this, tie in both the PNP and the JLP, tie in the private sector and whatever. When we come back, I'm going to explain to you what go on this. So we'll take a break. We'll soon forward.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live.
Yeah, back in our juggling now. So, people, Jamaica win a shot of entertainment, you know, man. And then we find entertainment in everything and sitting and whatever. But one of the phrases that became infamous in Jamaica was a phrase that said it named "run with it." Phrase, you know about that phrase, eh? You know where it come from? You don't know where it come from. Okay. All right. As it goes, you know, remember now, you know, if you're not in a power, you can't do nothing. All you can do is talk, basically, and demand an election to get back in a power. But if you're not in a power the way the Westminster system works in Jamaica, you know, I just thought, whatever. The party will win, the leader pick who, go where and whatever, and I just saw the thing set up. Right? So, you know, each party is always preoccupied with wanting to get power. So, one time Jamaica suffered some natural disaster. And at the time, the People's National Party was in power. And allegedly, some money did come up for deal with the natural disaster. And Omar Davis was of the People's National Party. Him did involve in managing some of that money. And Omar Davis, at the time too, was giving some consideration to running for leadership of the People's National Party. So, in giving some consideration for that, he want to, he want to position himself as having more influence over the other contenders or potential contenders for leadership of the People's National Party at that time. So, them do them look at jockeying and them look at competition and them look at thing and whatever. So in having those objectives, reportedly, and then having the money now to go deal with the emergency, the look at disaster and thing. Reportedly, Omar did want to put himself in a position where, he's being influential and being pivotal in, doing things for the People's National Party or whatever, and thing or whatever. So, supposedly, what Omar said, what Minister Davis at the time said was that, at the end of the day, he's a member of the People's National Party, so him rather Theme Party win and the Jamaica Labour Party not to win. And in order to ensure it's a Theme Party, his argument basically was, I am a member of the People's National Party. Why would I not think that my party is better than the Jamaica Labour Party? That was basically his argument. So in order for Theme Party, where him think is a better party for run the country at that time, him going to do what him need for do for take care of Theme Party, for Theme Party win. And I saw him say with the money and thing, when it come to the PNP side, him just run with it. And there was a huge outcry of just like, this is just corruption at the highest heights and thing, and and basically I say, when it comes to a natural disaster, he should not have been thinking about he should not have been partisan, one-sided in the disbursement and the management of and the utilization of the funds. Then it should have been about country and not about party and things like that. And but his argument was, in being about party, that was being about country. And what you had there was a kind of hybridization of corruption and logic, right? And when I say it's a kind of intersection of corruption and logic, where it becomes fuzzy. He's in power now. The PNP was in power, and he never did behave right. That's the truth. He never did behave right. But he was functioning from a logic that once we're in power, we are better off than the JLP. So as bad as we is, at the time, he's thinking that a theme reasoning. As bad as they were, if whatever fault the PNP would have had at that time, his logic was the JLP would be worse. So I'm saying when it comes to the money thing, him just run with it for the PNP. But what I want you to appreciate is that he was behaving in a way that arguably wasn't in the best interest of all the affected, because he was being partisan on one side and a lookout for him party, and unabashedly stating so. And I think it was he was speaking privately to members of the People's National Party at the time when they got that, when they heard him say that, because it was again him did one curry favor with the delegates and everybody, and say him had a man who did a lookout for the party, so him supposed to be the leader. Those were the reports at the time. So I said, run with it. And again, what me want you appreciate is this: once you're in a power, there's a game that has to be played. Most people who go into formal politics, they go into it to get something that they never had. Some will tell you that they go into it for public service. Some will tell you that they go into it to do the best for the country. And I would even venture to say that there were some people before who really held, some notions that, they're doing for country and that they were being patriotic and so forth. But I think even down, you have scholarship out there who talk about the death of ideology, like people who are driven by, lofty, noble principles of nation building and so forth and things like that. I would there is some truth to that over the last 2 decades and so forth and things. Like people are not, even in the height and the disagreement of the 70s and the 80s and them time there and whatever. Them people, there are a lot of political entities that did stand for something outside of some form of material gain or material increase or some, just an obsessive infatuation with power, support. Yeah, people who, whether it's communism or democratic socialism or capital. Yeah, people who have these ideas of what is best for the people and things like that, and them fight for it and freedom fighters and things. And that has been on the wane, that has decreased considerably. And what we have now is a situation where most people who go into politics, you don't find rich, powerful people go into politics in general. Because they don't need to go into politics. But every country have to have a government. And the government make laws. And the government control the disbursement of the country's purse. But the really rich, wealthy people, them don't want to do that. Them want to run for them thing in the private sector. But they want to continue to build wealth. They want to continue to make money, and they want to continue to build generational wealth for their families and their ethnicities. That is very important in Jamaica, ethnic group, even though you don't hear people talk about it, a lot. Whether you have some ethnic group that are very conscious of their ethnicity, and they look out for members of their ethnic group. Very, very powerful in Jamaica. And some of these people are steeped in history in Jamaica. Some came from Britain. You have people with English background and thing. And you have people with Irish background. They have their divisions. Then, you have the Middle Eastern groups in Jamaica. Then you have the Asian groups that came at the turn of the 20th century, namely the Chinese and the Indians. But then you had the Middle Eastern before them. The Lebanese and the Syrian. I know we have some recently, I have a very formidable Latino group now in Jamaica. We have quite a Korean group who is Asian also in Jamaica. So even ethnic groups, We have a rising Muslim population in Jamaica. And of course, we have a Rastafari in Jamaica. Right? So you have people in the private sector now. They don't want to go running at the government, But them have to work with the government because them need whoever is in government to give them the contract and to give them the favorable, to give them the structures that will allow for them business to make money. Whether in the financial sector, in the construction sector, whatever, and this and that and whatever. So if the government are going to build road or house or whatever, people in the private sector do it. So the people in the private sector, them don't want to run the government, But them want people in the government who are going to take care of them. And so there is a kind of exchange that goes on there. Them take care of the people in the government. Now people in the government run and them do for them game for try to get seniority and position and them something there. And the more power them get in the government, and the more power them have to talk to the people in the private sector who have the money. Because most of who going in the government not rich. Them not have the money. But them want the money. Because when I say to remember, power is the ability to do what you want to do for yourself. And to get others to do what you want them to do without any consequences. So the simple logic is the more power you have, the more you can do what you want to do for yourself. And the more you can get people to do what you want to do. And even if you do something wrong, the more likely you not gonna get any consequences for it. So the people in the private sector, they are aware of this. So they want power. They have economic power, money. Right? The people in the government, them control, the country's resources and the disbursement of contracts. Who get the contract for do this and that and all them things. That is where it comes down to. Who get to spend the money? Who get to spend the country money? Healthcare come after. Them something they are secondary thing. Even though when them they on the campaign trail, you hear them talk like those things are first and foremost. Them they are pittance. I look a program, so this and that, and you know have to pay for this and one. I look a program. Them they are pittance compared to what go on with the real game on the back end. The real game on the back end is who get to spend the proper good up dirty money. So you find say people in the government now, una may think say the first thing where people need to do is to win election is to convince the electorate about policies and things like that. No, that is not the first. And that win election at Jamaica people. What wins election in Jamaica is not what you're going to do for healthcare. They may throw out a little thing, a little program, you don't have to pay for this, where you go to hospital or whatever. It's not education. They may throw out something, you don't have to pay no more this and that and one look at something. But that is not what it is about, really. You know what win election at Jamaica? Money. Is money win election. It's that simple. And sometimes even the same. So the people them inside of the party them, in order for certain people get seniority in the party, you have to have people in the party with their respective roles who support certain people in a leadership. But the delegates them in the party, they are notorious for demanding money. I remember now them have to give this and that delegate, whatever it is. So if somebody want to rise in at the party now, them have to have money. But them not rich, because that is why them going at the party, and because them not rich, them don't not rich already. So them are going there look it. So them have to find the money somewhere, and so them have to get a sponsor. And what the sponsor, they, in the private sector. Now the people in the private sector, them not give a for them money, so. So them now, it is enough for them interest now for support winners. Some of them just align themselves with one party permanently, and them try to get the party there for win. And then internally now, them try to support who in the party or represent them. So the private sector for them thing is not for dash for them money, For them thing is to be strategic with them money. So one them want any party them must support, them want a party there for win. But not only that, any individual them must support within the party who have power within the party, them want an individual for win too. So the individual I go talk to who for talk to. Because why else? What else you going to do? You're in a game where you have to win. If you not win, you're nobody. If you not win, you have no power. If you not win, you can't tell anybody what to do. Nobody not going to listen to you. If you not win, you can't even look out for yourself. You know, much of them politicians out there want to say, with MP back of them name and them broken in a debt, you'd have frightened for no. And them now are trying to position themselves to find somewhere, to get access to the money the way them people have. But the people who have the money, them not going to just give you some here and nobody, even though you're in the party or whatever, this or that. Yeah, what you can do for me, if me do something for you, what you can do for me. Quid pro quo, that's how the game play. That is inescapable. That is the reality of politics. And Jamaica is no exception in that regard. So you can't have all the lofty goals where you have on top, but where you want for country or whatever and all them something there. And when you reach there now and you say, I want to do so and so for country and whatever, and the delegates them say, so what you can do for me leader? And you have no money and whatever and this, and somebody else have money, try and know the people them go to the one who have money, So when you say have money to you know I forgot to do what you have to do to get money from the private sector. When you go to the private sector, the private sector say, yeah, we would be interested in supporting you and whatever. But if we support you, where you think you may end up in the party and whatever? You say, whatever, who are you aligned with and thing and whatever? And if you have somebody seen a party, say, no, man, he's one of us, he's a stalwart, man. He has been steadfast, comrade to the core or labor right to the core or whatever. So what do you think? I think he's going to end up with a junior minister and so forth and thing like that and whatever. Rising star. Keep your eye on him and whatever. You want to invest in him, because he could be going, all right, then we're going to spend some money upon that one, yeah. But China, when them spend the money upon that one, yeah, you have to go look out back for them. And that is what is referred to as kickback. No, you have strict kickback. Strict kickback is John, I want you to get the contract here, you know, but me can't get, me in a government, I say me can't, I say to Prezi, me, I go go and get a big contract here, $200 million and sitting, you know. And if you get that contract, you know, $200 million contract, so what you can do for me now, what you can? President me say, all right, you see if you can line up that $200 million contract, that would be good for my company. Well, off the books and thing and whatever, we can arrange a thing for, you collect a little thing, we can set it up like, say, you have this company, we do the work here and whatever, and, you collect the money. We have a Swiss account over so and so, or a Cayman account over so and so, and you can go deal with that. And when I say, oh, for real? All right, I'm going to make you get the contract, but you don't know the law say we have to put the contract to tender. So here we are going to do now. Me control the people who are going to approve the contract on the board or the subcommittee or whatever the case may be. Right? The chairman, my one away. Yeah, man, we used to go to school together. We go, you know Joe, man? CMI school. A Joe? Wait, which Joe you talk? Alvin boy, we used to pay for so and so. Oh, him? Is he by the chairman? Yeah, man, then I want to control him, man. So, so we have to play the game. So, we're going to put it to tender. Other people are going to bid for it. But what you are going to do now, you go and bid round so and so and so and thing and whatever, We have these certain people over here, so them a bid feet and thing like that. But, them are lightweight. We whatever. People are so the game play, They're not going to tell you the truth, but I saw the game play. Everything happen upon but the real meat of the matter happen upon the back end. But the people in a government, most of the people in a government, they don't have no money. That's why they go in a government. And the people who have the money, them don't want to go in a government. Most of them. You have one or two people who have them good up money, and go in a government, before. Let's be frank, people like Mark Golding, they make their money differently, Right? You remember Darren Bunting and Golding, proper, right? So the money did proper long time or whatever. But in general, people in a private sector, them don't want to go in a government. But them need the people in a government. Because power, the ability to do anything where you want to do, the ability to get other people to do what you want to do. And if you do something wrong, you have little or no consequences to pay for it. Power in Jamaica is about contracts. Who get the contract? If you make the money, and how the money is trafficked and thing. And when them engage in that process, they don't see it as they're doing anything wrong. They just see it like this is the way the game is played. And if you don't play it, you're going to get left out. So you have to play it. And when you play it, you could be morally correct looking more. The way the game is played, you're going to have to see certain things where you say, boy, you don't agree with it, but it depends on your team. And you shut your eye, and you shut your mouth, and you hold it down. When your team do it in power. Then if you lose power, you play the game. You cuss out the other side, where every mistake them make and every little thing. Because you know the game, so you know what them I do. So all of a sudden now you get morally correct now and thing, and you want to do what is best for the country, and we want to eliminate corruption and this and that and ray. Then when you get back in a power, you do the same damn thing where you did a cuss the people them both. And that seesaw continue. And at the end of the day, is who managed to get power and keep power. And disburse contracts. And them run things. That are the essence of the thing. The PNP is guilty of it. The JLP is guilty of it. The private sector is guilty of it. And they have some sort of justification that this is just, it's not necessarily bad for the country, but this is how the game is played. At some point, everybody needs somebody, and you just have to be strategic in how you go about your thing, and you have to outmaneuver your competitors. And the idea, again, is to be, resolutely focused on what really matters at the core of this thing, which is power. And power is getting power, keeping power, and deciding who get contract. Right? That's why people, we're not calling a name, but you remember when I had some people who Jamaicans used to refer to as dons, like some of the biggest dons. And you remember when, I choose my words carefully, right? You remember on both sides you had people who refer to as dons. And when those people now wanted to jettison, discard, throw away those monikers, those appellations, those names and things, and they now wanted to essentially legitimize themselves in the public's eyes, and they sought sponsorship and support and guidance in doing so. Several of them, some of the party people rejected some of them embraced some of them and things. Some of them attempted to help an external country, the United States in particular, said, no, we don't support that, quietly. And all kind of games were being played. But what I want you to understand, for those of you who jump on this thing with the Prime Minister now, who is, I am not aware of, and anybody can call me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I am not aware of any recent or any instance in history or whatever where some formal recommendation was made for prosecutorial consideration for the Prime Minister of the country. This is significant, Whether or not it goes anywhere, that's another matter. I don't know. Because again, we're talking about power. You remember what I tell you when my friend did tell me? Two people tell me this in my time when me I come up. Raga, your reasoning is always too balanced and fair. This is what them tell me. This is what people tell me, And they make me know that is not how the game is played. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side, and when you pick a side, you play the game. Your side going to defend you. And one of them said to me, when you're balanced and you fear, that means you're on the fence. You're not committed to one side. When you're on the fence, you're easy to get shoot off. That the man tell me. You're easy to get shoot off. I'm telling you this already. So much so that one of them, one was from the JLP and one was on the PNP. And the one who was on the PNP at the time, when he might tell me, he said, listen. No, it was the one from the JLP. The one from the JLP at the time, he said, listen. You can go over into the PNP, Him say, Raga, at the end of the day, you're still my friend and whatever, It's just a game, just so the game play. Don't even take it personal. Because you may still look out for me. Me can still look out for you. Right? But it's about money and power and influence and who get to make the decision then about this. And when somebody goes so boom and spend a money upon you and sponsor you, you're going to have to take care of them. If you don't take care of them are going to rescind, them are going to withdraw them support. And when them withdraw them support, then you don't have that financial wherewithal now to guarantee say you can win the necessary elections, them and thing like that. Quid pro quo. Scratch my back, me scratch yours. That's how it run. So, I am boldly telling you, it doesn't matter whether it's PNP or JLP. It don't matter what them say. It don't matter what you hear the PNP say or what you hear the JLP say. You know, when you hear the leader of the PNP say or the leader of the JLP say. You know when you hear some influential people in the private sector say. Most of them people in the private sector, they're aligned with one of the side, them, either the PNP or the JLP. And most of them want for them party for getting a power so that they can get access to resources through the shenanigans and the apparatus that is applied in terms of how to distribute the country's resources in order to make certain things benefit the country to and them look at something or whatever, but also to ensure that the rich stay rich. Because again, the rich, them not, you think them must spend for them money just because whatever this and that. They must spend for them money to build wealth. So when them spend for them money upon a party or an individual or whatever this, that individual have to come back and do something for them. But you never hear about that part because that part is not where you ever hear about this and that for education and this and that and bravery and discipline and this and that and bravery and dancehall is terrible and that is where they put out there in the public and that way nothing want to follow. That is the part where nothing want to follow. Because nothing want to think say them something that when them keep on a distracting with, only thing say that's what it's all about in terms of running the country. And that is not what it's all about. Those things are supplemental. Those things are secondary. Those things are less of a priority. I know it sounds disturbing. Healthcare is less of a priority. Right? But again, to be fair to them, their argument, and those who are the actors in the political spectrum, they would tell you that all things being equal, each side will tell us that they are better, they have done better at managing the country's resources, even when those games are played. So, the PNP are going to tell us that they are better, the JLP are going to tell us that they are better. The rich, powerful people in the private sector, they are going to tell us that for them, the PNP, whichever party they must support, the JLP, they must say it better. And the rich, powerful people, them or whatever, they must say the PNP. So everybody, so in other words, there is some sort of justification there that this is not all bad. That there's a reality out here where we're all navigating, the terrains and the potholes and so forth. It's a game of survival. But within the game of survival, but Jamaica can benefit. But the best thing for Jamaica is a PNP. The best thing for Jamaica is a JLP. The best thing for Jamaica is that company. The best thing for Jamaica is so and whatever. But the real game, get power, keep power, and decide who get contract. Because that manage the money. That is managing the collection and the distribution of the money. So this thing, where I reach a prime minister, I don't know the details of it. My brethren, if you go over upon my IG page, you see somebody say, Kyrdor, KHYDOR 2021. I don't know how to pronounce that. So, someone want to say, wait. First of all, look, if you see him have some laugh emoji there, that is one. Two, he's one of my strongest supporters, I think. So some of you think say him when him say, but that's your brethren. He's one of my strongest supporters, so don't get it twisted, right? But what he's referring to is that on occasion I mentioned that I'm very open with these things and I tell her that I'm transparent. I know people on both sides of the political aisle. We're not best friend, and I like me and them are best friend, but once you're in politics, you know enough people. So they know enough people. And I've worked in media for years, and I've been a lecturer at the University of the West Indies in the Department of Sociology and Psychology and Social Work for 9 years. And in those portfolios, you meet people and you interact with people and you get to know people. So you don't have to be best friends with them, but you know them. And I stand by what I said. Like, these people, I try to see them who they are separate from what they're doing, in their political portfolios. And I do run an assessment on them and say, what is this person like? So I know people on the JLP side who I talk with good. Me and Uncle Desi talk good on the JLP side. Me and Pernell talk good on the JLP side. Me and Babsy talk good on the JLP side. And me and Andrew talk good on the JLP side, right? I don't know everybody on the JLP side, but I know some of them where we talk. Again, we're not friend or nothing. They're politicians, so they meet whole heap of people, including they meet Raga, right? And I have found Andrew to be a pleasant person. Right? So me and Andrew talk long before, and I stand by that. I have found him to be a pleasant person. Does that mean that I don't think, them have to play that political game? No, they have to play the political game, and that's the point I've been making here all since this night in this presentation. On the PNP side, the Burks, I talk personally with the Burks. People have problems. I don't have any problem with them. I talk to Sister P. I have found Sister P to be a most pleasant person. Right? I know several people on the PNP side and whatever, Kern, me know Kern and thing. I talk to the former Prime Minister, pleasant person, one of the calmest, wisest person I've ever met, PJ Patterson or whatever. So I know, again, me and I'm a big friend, I don't know them like that, right? But in their capacities, in terms of their whatever, over the years, on occasion, I've spoken to them. Peter Phillips, I've sat down with Peter Phillips when he was Minister of National Security and had a conversation with him and learned a lot from him on the PNP side. Like, that's a wise man. He may not have finished well in terms of the last election, but I find him to be a most astute and introspective, and he's a wise man. He know the game. So I know people on both sides. But people, what I want you to know is that as well-intentioned as anybody is who enter politics, there is a game there that them have to play. And it's a game of getting power. Without power, you're nothing in politics. And that the process of getting power involves a game with rules where even if you don't want to play it, you have to play it. And when you're playing that game, it is not the cleanest of games. Anybody who enter politics and thinks them now have to shut them eye to certain things, or see certain things and shut up, or engage in a certain activities in order, to ensure them win. Because if you don't win, them are gonna get rid of you. If you don't win, it's gonna cost you. And then now when you say, oh, me I gonna win now, and then you have to play the game. And you need people, and the people who you need, them are going to need you, and them are going to use you, and them are going to want you to do back for them. So lastly, before we open the phone line and who want calling, what is most troubling with this thing I now do is that, remember me I telling you, say, when me I grew up I get to, Me never have no father. So me end up a go out in the street, right? And me start go out in the street to me there south. And I saw me start part with one brother in here, Weather. From south. Weather who did there with Jackie. Right? And then shut up Weather and kill her. President, we are laughing. Right? Weather who did there with Jackie. Jackie who teach me for slow dance. At the first party at 4 Blake Road. One song named A Taste of Honey by Sukiyaki. And Weather woman Jackie, Weather tell Jackie, say, teach the boy if he dance. The song named A Taste of Honey. It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You went away. Now I can't sing. Life is like a rainy day. Sitting on it, I think I saw. Right? Sukiyaki. You know what I sang the president? Right? Whether the first one make me hold gun. Me used to clean gun and all and thing there, whatever this, right? Come here, look at you them time there, you know. No father figure, whatever this and that. And me used to clean the gun and thing, and then one day Whether go tell me, say, yo, Juvenile, Whether used to like one album with one singer, one cowboy singer from America named Marty Robbins. You know about that thing there? You don't know Marty Robbins? President know Marty Robbins, man. Him have some famous song, man. But I can't know what the thing are going on. You know Marty, President, let me tell you. President, one song was out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rosie's Cantina. Music will play and Bellina would whirl. One night a wild and young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas ring. And so, dancing and daring the drinks he was carrying with wicked Bellina, the girl that I love. So in anger, but I'm gonna bust up your shut away. Whether you still love, and then you did that one next one, you're running gun and thing or whatever. So whether you so play them song and whatever, whether was like my hero. I never have no male figure hero. That's why I tell you, you know, people, that's why I make sure say, even though things no 100 for me for my youth, them, you know, I try my best, you know, to show up, you know, so they know who a father. Right? Because I know I escape from it, you know. But me did dip on the track, they go down, they go dead too, you know. And when I give me gun and say, go out on the road. Juvenile, go out on the road and hold off the ends. And President, you know, some roll out with the machine at them time, the President. And time them about 12, you know. President, you know, say one man come down the road now. And chew me have a gun for me now, you know. Big man, you know, President. So you know, boy, I get gun and go to the whole half ends and man come down the road. So the man have to get a check, President. So me go up to the man and me say, but President, my mind, you know, me have gun now, you know, so me a gorilla now, you know, me a King Kong, you know. But me little bit of whingy do, you know. But to me have a gun for me now, me feel say me a King Kong, you know. So the man big and thick, you know, 6 foot hard, you know, and then me the little bit of whatever. In my mind, you're lucky. And what you do for me road? So me go over there and me say, aye. That the time my voice fine, you know, but in my mind, my voice sound gruff, you know. So me say, aye. And what you do here, son? Eh? How are you? Who are you? President man look for me and say, I want this little nasty piece of tail, boy. Look at boy move for me so before me what? President saw me back out the machine and the general see the machine. He general start ball and a beg and I say, he man tell me say 7 picnic mama have him the best behaving one. President, you know what kind of power I felt right there so with that gun, about 12-year-old with gun and chat to big people and humble the man them way. He man chat, he said, no, look boy, not do me, no, 7 pin, I'm here the best behaving one of my mother. President, the power surged through me, you know, man. So that kind of power now, me experience around weather and them and gunman. But here's the thing, President. whenever them attack, their point of reference for them ambition and what them want in life, and where them want go and where them want achieve, it was always in relation to uptown people, uptown Jamaicans, and the politician them. So they saw the power that the politician them have, right? They saw the power that uptown people have. Back in them day, the internet never deb out on them. You know what I say? In them thing, they whatever, them, you know? So their point of reference now was to get the big house, was to get the this and that and whatever. So they were always studying what these people do. And they always notice when these people, when millions of dollars being missing from the country's purse is nothing new. That go on a long time. You follow me? But them youth, they always have noticed this thing for a long time. And them always want that too. But them know that them not have the last name, the skin color, the network, access to this, and whatever. So them have to find it some other way. And their justification for engaging in some form of criminality or hustling in order to achieve those things was what they saw repeatedly as a double standard where people with power, what you hear me talk about from the show start, them get away with things all the while. They saw how them people that work them thing and look out for who them and look out for. Them see it. And they refuse to sit down and dead feel hungry and not get it and whatever. And them have to find them in their mind, them have to find some way to go do it and thing and whatever. And people, it's so extortion on them, something they just grew up in a Jamaican thing, and it's so like, you know, some justification for say, well, them people exploit other people too, so we have to exploit people too. Right? But they would have you believe now, so them type of corruption and them type of thinking that they're exclusive to the domain of ghetto people, and that is my larger problem with this thing. Yeah. And then somehow now want to get distracted with them foolishness there. And I saw want to get distracted when you hear me upon this, I'm gonna let it go, you know. When they get distracted now when the young lady from Digicel go foolishly, she was wrong. When she go, you know, essentially I praise the taxi man when it bad up the populace. But you see how everybody run out on that and they make a big deal about that and whatever. But these very same people, they know how the game I play, the game of politics, because they're actively involved in it. But them not telling about them part there. Them know who I look out for who and whatever, for who and whatever this and that. I am shocked that this thing came out with the Prime Minister, because I'm going to be honest with the people. Usually these things are taken care of. Usually a phone call is made and, you know, Mr. PM, you know, with all due respect, sir, you know, this thing I look damning, you know, and the committee has done their due diligence, and they have made some conclusions, and we have somebody on it. She's quite gung-ho to get this thing out, and there's another so we're trying to figure out what you propose, what we can work out and things like that. Usually these things are kind of clamped down, you know, so I can almost guarantee you that there's an interesting backstory here. And again, it's about politics and influence and who I look out for who and who never look out for who and this and that. I don't know what it is, but some game I play behind here. Because who run Jamaica? Network. The network can be lodges or families or structured alliances, you know, right? So don't be fooled. Lodges are very strong in Jamaica, and it is not what you think about demon or anything. This is about power. It's about power, wealth, and influence, right? So they are very strong there and things like that. And then you have these families who have deep historical trajectories and alliances and things that go way back from woof of several generations back and whatever and thing in terms of their loyalties and the loyalties that intersect with familial and commercial obligations, structured in such a way that them look out for them one another and they ensure that wealth is kept in certain circles and thing, and they not go out there and them have that power because by them having that power, them can exert influence continually to ensure that their status is maintained. Mark, some other things, there's some aesthetic things that people like too, and like titles and so forth. Some of those things are, people are into some of those things. I know things look and the house on the hill and all them things, right? But it's really power and wealth, right? The formal academic term for it is political economy. Political power, economy, money, subsistence, survival. Wealth building. So it no matter what this thing have with Andrew. Again, I don't know the backstory with it, But I just want to know. When I go hear the PNP attack loud, this and that. Because I've been telling them there are all kind of things out there. And, them been want come for the Prime Minister, you understand? So the PNP are going to attack loud. Because the PNP is not in power now. So, me are telling you blunt. So there is nobody who mean as well for Jamaica now than the PNP because them don't have power. And the JLP is in power. And there are all kinds of things going on. And I'm not going to lie to them, I'm going to be honest with them. Most of women here, I not come on radio come talk about it. There are some pivotal actors in the JLP right now where some things where them name call upon internationally and all them something they implicating the country in this and that. I'm not going to lie to them, I'm not come here to come talk about them. I'm bold and barefaced with it too, but so I'm not go whatever. But I guarantee if the PNP gain that power, it's the same thing going on, something going to come up on thing. And when if the JLP not in power, there's nobody who going to mean the country better, more, want as best for the country as the JLP. It's a game. And within that game, the people who go in at the government and thing and whatever, them not the money, them not rich like that. And most of them don't go there, with them primary purpose to do what is best for the country. That is not it. And the few who go there and do that, when they want to do what is best for the country, they end up being ensnared in an apparatus where they're an anomaly. They constitute an anomaly. They're an aberration. They're an exception. The matter people who really want to do good for the people, because there is an entrenched system in place, a game in place, where even most of the influential people, who don't see them in the public, they are not on the front page, they're not on the radar screen, and you don't even see them and talk to them. And these are the major players and actors and things who have the money. So even those people who really want to do well, they may end up do well, but their well is you help the family, you help the pitney go to school, you buy this and that for them. The funeral come and you help with the money there and things like that, and you help the funeral, and you want to get the farm work ticket for go work on apple farm or Canada or US or you claim say you get contract for plate the sidewalk white or for weed out over there so or or help with the rent or thing like that. And that is how them justify, but that is not where the real game is played. That is not where. No. You don't have a seat at the real table of power, where the game is played, where the real macro game is played. It doesn't matter who is in power. they had to have gotten there by some marshalling and a particular management of fiscal resources, money, and that money must have had to have been sourced from somewhere, and wherever that money was sourced from, them not give away for them money, so that money was delivered with some understanding that some arrangement will be made for you to take care of me and take care of this and this and give you that contract over here. So what? That is how the game is played. And if the PNP win tomorrow, Mark Golding and the PNP would be no exception to that. They're going to play the game too. And the JLP is in power. Andrew Onis and the JLP, they're not accepted for it. Andrew Onis and the JLP have to take care of who supported the JLP. And there are people right now who want to support the PNP to get back in power so that the PNP can turn around and take care of them. And within that process, all kinds of balancing act take place to ensure that something is still done for the country. Road, make and thing and whatever. And, well, we can't build a hospital, we can't build a fire station over here, so whatever. So at some point, Jamaica get something. But the major actors in it, it's all about their self-interest, first and foremost, in the game of survival, and in that a high-stakes arena of government, private sector, as in business, private family, as in, rich, wealthy people. And again, who get power? Who successfully harness the ability to get power, keep power, and decide who get contract? So it's this thing with the Prime Minister with contract. That is the essence of governing. Irrespective of whether it's a JLP or the PNP. We'll take a break. We're soon forward.
The Bridge 99 FM, the Caribbean's cultural capital.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live.
All right, welcome. All right, then. We are about 18 minutes ago. If anybody want to call, and give you a call, right? I know the number is 876-676-4996. 876-676-4996. 876-676-4996. 876-676-4996. President, watch out, make sure if any call come in and thing, All right, okay, because so people, this thing I know while we see if any call come in, this thing I know with the US student now who allegedly lock up the girl for about 3. Why them said the police said them investigate alternative. Me just tell them the number. 876-676-4996. 876-676-4996. So what may I say is, well, now wait there. Okay. Showing a year about the US student, male student who allegedly have a girlfriend, a 19-year-old first-year student, and that the girlfriend, he must hear say the girlfriend abon him, and him go lock her up in her room for 3 days and supposedly torture her and burn her up with a iron and all them something there. We see all these pictures of she burn up with iron and all these pictures of she burn up with iron all over her body, her face and her body, burn up and thing. It's awful, it's horrific and thing. But what is interesting here now, we're hearing that security officials at the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies, UWI, says they are exploring other theories in relation to the alleged assault of a female student by her ex-boyfriend in a dorm room on the campus. What does that mean, people? Other theories, right? It implies that there are other possibilities as to what led up to that happened to her? Is that what they're saying? Right? One thing is for sure, broadly speaking, this is either the beginning of some form of cover-up or how the story we get it and never saw it did go in terms of what happened between him and she. Well, let us watch this one and see what obtains. No? Good night. Hello. Good night. Yes.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, where I going?
Rob. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
We don't know if you can run back the time and the day them on the year again for it. Someone we kind of get lost on.
What you mean, time and the day them when what? When I'm broadcasting?
Yes, sir.
No, but it's only Wednesday night now.
Only Wednesday?
Yeah, it's only Wednesday now, so it's just Wednesday night. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The topic I work today.
Yeah.
We that talk, I'm going to tell them to Raga say born with respect.
Right.
Topic at work today was, me just give you my opinion.
Right.
The policeman at Jamaica will kill the man and the woman.
Yeah. It comes
Kill the Bonner man.
Yeah, it comes in Bonner man at show some strong Teely. Well, Teely is little, so I won't assume that it was little, but he must show some strong Teely upon him woman and him shot them up, the two of them kill them, and I saw the pictures.
So the talk in our work today.
Yeah.
And me I tell them to Raga say born with respect.
Right.
Who near Raga? Where in Raga? I say, Ewa. You know, so him not kill them because of the burning. Them say, what you mean? They say him kill them because of the house. That me think.
That you think?
That because him me think that him go in at the house and see them maybe in my marriage bed or record, material bed or whatever.
Yeah.
And him does. And that's all. Me not feel say him kill them because of burn. Me feel that because she take it. That's all.
All right, hold on. I am inclined to disagree with you based on the following. Though.
Okay.
All right. Is that
right.
While the point that you made could have exacerbated the reason, his decision to kill them, unfortunately, the main reason why men resort to violence when time a woman burn them is not with those kind of extraneous factors that I usually take into consideration when I'm analyzing and breaking down the different layers of burning and things like that. Frankly, to put it straight, man just think them own woman. Right?
Well,
I'm not saying that it could probably make him more angry, but most men who end up a kill woman and a kill people and whatever this and that is for the simple fact that they believe the woman go give away something with them own. That is it. That is the main reason. I mean, every situation have its own set of facts, but I'm just saying that is the main reason man kill woman when them say woman get them born, because the woman give away them pum pum, and because the man them very foolishly and incorrectly believe them own the woman vagina, so them say, yeah, give away me things.
You know, Jamaican have some man not going to normal.
Right.
A man who play that, with tell me say, him tell us say him go home. Maybe a the bonner girl or a female regular girl.
Yeah.
And him put up him foot on the step. Is that man a put on the strength.
Yeah.
Him say him just back off a step. And me know say nah like that, because you know a big man.
Yeah.
Him say him go back at the bar, go drink for about 3 hours, or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And go back down there,
Yeah.
and put on the strength on her, and she don't know what's saying the outside and hear the strength of her.
And him go back down and go sort her out after him come there and see a man a sort out him woman. Him go drink for 3 hours and then come back and give her one of them like a revenge slam, they don't.
Yeah.
But what you think about that? What you think about that? Yeah.
Let me tell you what I think about it, Raga. And me have a question I'm going to ask you. No, I'm not going to ask you that question because I don't think you. But you know, my woman have one chance,
One chance.
Yeah.
What you mean? She can burn you and get catch with one time, and then you will still steer.
Yeah, she have a chance, but she just don't know. Me don't tell
Oh,
her
she don't know. Okay, yeah, you don't want to tell her to
No.
shop one. She may use it. Next thing you know, she go run it from
Yeah.
Prezi and say, him nah leave. Me have a one chance. Me have a one chance.
Yeah. So, would you give your woman a chance?
Would I give her one a chance? If she born me? No, well, you see, me I tell her now, that depends, you know. It depends.
Yeah.
But but hold on. No.
Respect.
But if the question is, Raga, can you imagine a situation where you are with your lady, wife or woman or whatever the case may be, and she cheated on you and bun you and you still stay with her? Hell yeah. I can imagine that situation. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because if you weigh the scale of the balance, you might have kids, you might have house, you might have assets, and the amount of bun where we as a man give already, we must can't take on one bun, man.
Well, I have long since argued that, and contrary to the fact that I play with sexual themes a lot on my shows and whatever, I happen to think that sex is highly overrated, you know, right? In terms of what is important to me in life. Sex is not up there, you know. I remember put it another way. In terms of what is important to me in a relationship, sex is good. Me like it, you know. Style and thing and catch your foot over your son, send on and whatever and this and that and all a little small choke and thing and edge it and thing and catch and quint and slant it and this and that and spank that ass and all this stuff and what. Fine. But that's just. While it can be, in terms of intimacy, can be, an affirmation of love between two people and all that. I understand all of that. But sex by itself, in relation to other things that I consider important in a relationship, sex is way down there. So there can be some factors in place that be whatever. But then again, remember now, you're talking to a man now who has matured considerably in this thing, you know, and that me can't get born, you know.
I don't want you to laugh.
No, hold on. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I say, tell you hear me talking, say, me can't get born. Ragashanti cannot get born.
I agree with you.
Well, you heard my reasoning before why me can never ever get born. Eh?
Yeah, man, I know your one. Yeah, man, me hear enough to hear you.
No, but what you think? But the fundamental thing is this. For you to get born, it must necessarily be a breach of an agreement. Me wrong or me right?
Right.
Right? Okay. Doesn't it follow then that if you're not in that agreement, you can't get born? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Keep it simple right there, sir. Me can't get born. When me in a that chun-chun is my one. When me come out of that chun-chun, because when me in it and she wind it up on me and I curl it up on me and she said, take it, Raga, the whole light up for you. I say, yeah. I say, I want for some of this. Yeah. I say, I want for some of this. Yeah, it's when me I'll catch all my hand, back her knee, and bring up her knee, up her ears and whatever, and set her right and send it up. That is my chun-chun. You see, when me come out of that, it is no longer my chun-chun. The fun done and the joke done right there. What? Huh?
Tiffany of Brooklyn.
Me don't hear what you say. What?
Tiffany of Brooklyn.
Tiffany of Brooklyn. What about Tiffany of Brooklyn?
Brother, you same time you go in our house?
Yeah.
Me in love.
Is that the name of your lady?
Well, I know what kind of lady I that about. You see, anytime me come out of the house,
yeah,
me better drop everything and go on in my yard. If I say me not do it, they go stand up right at our door and don't move. You know?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Tiffany's a Yankee, you know.
Yeah.
And when she deal with the host thing, she deal with the host thing different.
When she deal with the host thing, she deal with it different?
The host, yeah. When she deal with the swipe thing.
Hold on. Stop right there, stop right. Are you really talking about somebody who...
You know, sir, a third time, Mr. Something to you, you accuse me of not telling you the truth. And this is my third time.
No, but me I gotta ask, why you call her name? Why you gonna call her name for?
It don't mean to the right name, because
That is what I'm asking you.
yeah,
But it sounds to me like the right name you call.
No, man. I shouldn't listen to your program.
When you talk about them, something, they avoid calling the woman name. But go on talk. So what you say, she bad pan the headers?
No, everything.
Or she bad pan everything?
When me go in the house,
Yeah.
me in love with her.
Yeah.
It's when me come out,
Yeah.
she give me, fix the fix, She not sex, she fix you.
She fix you. Okay.
Yeah, make boy crawl up in a bed like a little pea,
Okay, all right.
That's what she do. So, when me come out of the house,
Uh-huh.
me just drop everything off on my shoulder and take a deep breath and go on with me. Because if me don't program my mind away there,
Yeah.
me go sit down her doorway and don't move from there. But so the game play, because you have to know the game play, there's rules to the game.
Right.
You're supposed to just move on and go out with your thing. But the way how fear thing turn up.
Uh-huh. The way it turn up, yeah.
Yeah, it will it can cause you to stay there and
Well, you're touching on another ragga rule, because you hear me say that. You say the thing you love the most, and the thing, anything you love the most, anything that you need the most.
Be careful who carry come.
Be careful who carry come give it to you, and you must always be able to say no to it.
True.
The thing you love the most and the thing you need the most. The thing you enjoy the most and the thing you need the most. Always be careful who is offering those things to you. And you must always be able to say no to them. So along those lines, you see, the more a woman start to turn up, the more you must remind yourself, this is not your something.
That's why when we come out of the house.
All right.
That's why when we come out of the house.
All right.
And you may learn that. From you.
All right.
You worry me already, and I don't want you laughing. I don't want you laughing.
Talk quick, time ago, yeah. You have to talk when you're quick, You talk slow, talk quick.
I play a game for somebody that tell them, the boy, there's certain things me don't know because I was sheltered as a child.
Right.
Say backfire because...
talk fast and a man time ago, yeah.
Say, oh, you sheltered? I go check her down where she live, I go check her and me and her in her car. You don't know, so she put her hand in her thing and put it on my face.
Well, we can't really get into those graphic things on this program. You have to call me and free up here. All right? You have to call me and free up. All right. And this is a nice part to segue and end this call because you talk about wipe and slap. You talk about wipe and slap, and thing and whatever. And that's a whole different ball game we're going and thing. All right, my brother, you take care, all right?
All right, bless you, man.
Yeah, man, cool. President here when him gone. Ain't president ever here when him gone. She put her at night and then slap, wipe it in her face. What is wrong with this man? And people, thank you for hanging out with me again. I'll be back here on next week, Wednesday. Take care of yourselves and things like that. Do remember, we'll Mixup Entertainment over Ragashanti TV on YouTube, Ragashanti TV. Over YouTube, Ragashanti TV. Subscribe over there, it's free and then come check we out. Check out the content over there. Hundreds of hours of our Mixup Entertainment for your listening and viewing pleasure, and also some provocative content from yours truly, Miss Cherry Washbelly. That would be me, Ragashanti. Also, on most platforms, we're not allowed to play music except on Twitch.tv. Okay, it's not twitch.com, it's twitch.tv. So follow me over there, twitch.tv/Ragashanti, RAGASHANTI. Again, twitch.tv/Ragashanti. twitch.tv/Ragashanti. Go over there now and follow me right now. Just do that and follow me. And then you're going to see one little bell. Click the bell. Even if you're PNP, click the bell. Don't make it that deep. Don't get it twisted and make it that deep. It's social media. And that is for notifications. So anytime I'm over there playing music live and I go on with the something of them, you can come over there and just have a good time. Again, twitch.tv/Ragashanti. Go over there right now. No care when you listen to this. And follow me. Because when I build a look of vibes over there, the only platform I can play music. I love my local music. I love my Jamaican music. I want to play my Love in Dear song them, you know. I find back my Love in Dear song them. Lloyd Love in Dear, big up yourself, you know. You don't know it's a ragga rate you like that. I want to tell you. Yeah, big up yourself, man. And if anybody I try over you call me. Love in Dear, call me. Because ragga the good over man. We have the turn back over upon them. Anything them send, we boomerang it upon them. You understand? Right? See, everybody who did fight against Raga, you know, say, God bless her reach them. Let's get, want to think my thing normal. All right, people, big up on yourself and think, make sure sound a beard. I want to rinse if the water brown, swap up again and rinse again and whatever. Want to not clean on the toilet, make sure sound clean the brown streak, them out where the water come on and whatever. Look on your bathroom, if it's a white bathroom, make sure so the little shade now come down and you get that little grey tone, that is not a good thing. Take care of yourself, change your shower curtain. If the shower curtain is dirty, change it. Change the inside one if I don't want the dirty and all these things and whatever, and keep the outside one. I don't know the drill. Take care of yourself, people. I speak of random, strange things. Sometimes it happens. See you next week right here on Ragashanti Live, but make sure so you follow me at twitch.tv/Ragashanti and also Ragashanti TV over YouTube. Blessings out, everyone!